kindergarten, and kindergarten does write. And for those of you that have a new entering kindergartners and you don't have older students, it's a little different than it was when we grew up in kindergarten. We write in kindergarten to 3 common core kindergarten text types. The first is personal narrative, the second is opinion, and the third is informative. TK kindergarten writes solely to personal narrative, which is a great foundation for your child entering to kindergarten as we begin with that text type. We spend the duration of kindergarten writing on a particular topic and writing several supporting sentences that relate to that topic depending on the text type. In kindergarten, as in reading, you will see writing to children, writing with children, and writing by children. Writing to children will be teacher or myself writing in my small moments journal and sharing an experience that I have had. During that time, I am teaching writing strategies. When we write with your children, we're writing either a morning message on a daily basis or in small group setting. This is an example of a morning message, and this is where we teach Anna. Writing strategies in a whole group setting. We spend a lot of time talking about what good writers do. The first thing we talk about is that good writers begin their sentences with capital letters. And so we model that through this message. Another strategy or something that good writers do is we use 2-finger spaces because words don't kiss. We also know that good writers use lots of lowercase letters and that good writers use ending marks like periods, question marks, and exclamation marks. You are going to see that when a message comes home, we circle lots and lots of high-frequency words. As Mrs. Flynn mentioned, we have high-frequency words in TK, and we have high-frequency words in kindergarten. And those are words that we want you to practice reading and writing, and those become their bank for reading and their bank of words that they can use to write a paragraph in kindergarten, because that's what we end up doing. When you receive a message, celebrate the message. Your child will receive a message probably 3 to 4 times a year. Make sure that you read it with them and ask them, well, why is this word circled? Why is that word underlined? We underline parts of words that we recognize, like the TH part or the AY chunk. We also underlined ending marks like exclamation marks that tell us that our voice needs to be loud and strong, and they use their muscles to show that. We know that periods stop our words and that question marks make our words go up. So celebrate this message, read it, hang it. It's a very important part of our reading or writing with students. That's great. Like I said, we also have small group writing with children, which we tend to, as teachers, be able to write with groups of 4 to 6, probably once a week, and then when we have parent helpers, they are also participating in that process. Writing by children is their ability to write independently. In kindergarten, typically Thursday is our no-help writing day, so you will receive a sample of writing of what your child can do by themselves. We also have 3 district prompt periods during the year where your child will be expected, as well as any kindergartner in the Poway Unified District, to write to a particular prompt. And we typically set them up for the prompt, and they write independently to that prompt. Again, high-frequency words like Mrs. Reed mentioned and Mrs. Flynn mentioned are really important to that prompt writing, because once they have secured certain high frequency words, they can almost write a paragraph independently. We have some samples that I'll set out for you to look at. Basically, within 2 months of kindergarten, that is going to be their first district assessment with no help, and it's on personal narrative, and it's a fun day. So they're writing basically something that they did. And the second district assessment is about halfway through kindergarten, and it's an opinion writing piece. And it's actually in kindergarten a piece based on a response to literature. So we read a story to them, and then they respond whether they like the story, whether they don't like the story, and they use supporting information to explain why they like it, why they don't, and an example. And you'll actually start to see an ending coming into play as well as a beginning. At the very end of the year in May, we have our third assessment district-wide, and it's informative, and it's a factual piece of writing, and you will see that there's a lot more text. I have samples, so I will set them out so that you see the differences between the beginning of the year and the end of the year. Within these samples that I'm showing you, you will see lots of high-frequency words spelled correctly. You'll start to see great beginnings or hooks to their words. You'll start to see facts when we're writing. Our theme right now is farm animals, and so the sample that I have is about cows. So you have a beginning, you have several facts that support their beginning, and then they have an ending. And you see, again, punctuation starting to be more predominant. You see spacing, more high-frequency words spelled correctly, and a lot of inventive spelling. By the end of the year of kindergarten, they will be using inventive spelling, which means they're listening to words and they're writing their beginning sounds, their middle sounds, and their ending sounds. Anyway, so I'll set those out because that's really important for you to see the growth that your child is going to experience this year in kindergarten. How you can help your child be successful in kindergarten is the first thing that you can do with your child from now until the beginning of kindergarten is draw with them. Help them draw a picture of themselves. Talk about shapes. Talk about the kind of hair they have. Do they have short, spiky hair? Do they have green eyes, hazel eyes? And how do you draw hazel eyes? I have hazel eyes. I use green. Some people use brown. If you have blonde hair, there's not a crayon that says blonde. So what color might you use for blonde? Talk about hands and the shape of hands and how many fingers you have. Also, practice drawing things the way we see them in life. I know lots of kindergarten and pre-K kids have favorite colors, and they want everything to be in purple or everything to be in blue. But we really want them to start drawing the way the world really looks. The grass is green, the sky is oftentimes blue, sometimes gray. So help your child and draw together this summer and enjoy spending time together, because that picture with all the details of when you went to the beach or when you went to SeaWorld, that is going to be the writing springboard to all that interesting information that relates to their topic sentence. Another way you can help your child in writing is start practicing writing their name in the kindergarten way, with one capital letter at the beginning of their name, and the rest of their letters are lowercase letters. Lowercase letters require a little more fine motor development than uppercase letters, so if you start practicing this now with your child, they will feel so successful being able to draw a picture of themselves and write their name at the beginning of the kindergarten year. We can't possibly write every single name of our 27 kids during a work time, so that will help your child feel super successful. The other thing that you can do while you're in the car driving to and from soccer practices and other events in your life, practice saying words slowly or stretching them out. This is huge in kindergarten. Not necessarily segmenting cat like at, but saying it cat, and making sure your child is saying cat. Practice taking turns recognizing, I hear cat, I hear that sound. What letter makes that sound? It's a little more challenging to hear a sound and try and figure out what letter makes that sound versus looking at a letter and saying, oh, C says K or T says T. It's a little more challenging in writing. Writing is definitely a higher level skill for kindergartners. So if you can work on those 3 things, your child will be really doing well at the beginning of kindergarten. Again, just to reiterate what Mrs. Flynn said and Mrs. Reed said, letter sound knowledge is crucial in kindergarten. We don't spend the year like we used to learning a letter and practicing the sound. We pretty much hit the ground and start running, reading and writing in kindergarten. We're so happy to have your babies in kindergarten. Thanks for listening.